Well, mate. Well. What a shit show. What do you say? What do you say after that, everyone? What do you say after that? Paul's got the right words. What do you say, mate? What do you say after display like that, mate? Seriously, it's gone on for how long now, everyone? How long has that gone on for now? It's finished Tottenham 2, West Ham United 0. Jazz from the West Ham Irons channel, absolutely fuming. Oh my god. What do we say? Paul, you're kind of on the right. You're on the right path there, mate. Is this how low our beloved West Ham United has come down to, that we just turn up for London derbies like Chelsea, like Spurs, no idea, no will to win, no tactical will to score a goal, have any plan, just sit there with 7-8 people, defenders, when Tony up front, who's again one of the poorest players on form in the whole league, no width. You got wing backs that are blatantly playing as full backs, flat back five, no ambition at all, and you're playing teams like Chelsea. Chelsea lost to Southampton, I think, yesterday, right? That tells you the state of Chelsea, right? Newcastle were there. We could have won that game. Spurs, even, you could see in the first half, they weren't not quite at it like they normally are, right? It's just, the board has to act tonight. I'm just... How long can the board let this carry on now? How long can they carry this on? We're in the bottom three. Everyone else around us is picking up points, changing managers, changing tactics, anything to get out the bottom three, bottom five. We've lost, I think, in one run, everyone. Didn't he lose 6-7 games in a row and he kept his job, didn't he? You got Danny Ings being played up front by himself. There's no one next to him. We got no one on the pitch who's a captain. You got Bowen who got clattered 4 times. There's no one protecting him from either our side, or no one speaking to the ref about it. It's just so many things, mate, have gone on. So many things. I'll tell you what, I don't think he would know how to do that, mate. I think he doesn't even know where his backside, where his hole is, mate. You wouldn't even know, mate. He cuts such a annoying figure. Every time you look at him, it's just venom. Just don't want to see that guy anywhere near West Ham ever again. I don't even want to talk about him. This is just, no one deserves that. At least the fans who go to all these games. What is it? One shot on target? Was it that Bowen one? I remember. What are his tactics to win the game? And I'll talk about it a bit later on, mate. But I'm being serious. There's fans out there that have gone soft, that are glorifying over the 2 draws we've got, saying why is this channel always moaning? Why are you complaining? Why are you, Frankie, always like this? I'm like, if you are happy with what's happening at our club, you'd go and deserve to support another teammate. Why shouldn't West Ham deserve more? Yeah, you're glorifying a season where we lost in the semi-final. You're glorifying abject non-activity transfer windows. You look at that garbage out there on the pitch. Absolutely nothing to even rave on about anyone out there. It's just absolutely crap, absolutely rubbish, mate. Seriously, Ryan's got to go, mate. But then knowing our luck, knowing the non-proactive board that we've got, I don't think there's any plans in place. You know, they'll probably sack him and not probably know what they want to do. I mean, Spurs a couple of times, including Nuno, they sacked him. And even when Poch went, within 48 hours, they had the new manager ready to go, right? This board is just sitting there, scratching their balls. I don't know what they're thinking about, mate. I seriously don't know. It is, mate. Spurs were there for the taking. Son was on the bench. You saw how poor Richarlison was. Our defending, even though we had 6-7 people defending, mate, we were awful. No one's picking up no one. It's just that there's so many of them in the back. They're all looking at each other. It's like, oh, it doesn't matter, if I just look the other way and lose my marker. Even if Oggy made that mistake for one of the goals, there's no help from either Agard or Emerson. And I thought Agard was flipping shit, mate. Absolute crap. Couple of times gave the ball away. No one's marking anyone. Kehrer, what can we say about Kehrer? Why is he anywhere near that first team? The guy's lucky not to have given away a penalty. I don't know what the hell's going on, mate. I don't know what's going on. It's just really, really frustrating. I've just about had enough. It is, mate. It is, Mick. It's very, very negative. There's nothing you can't even talk about. How can you sit there and watch 90 minutes of West Ham for the past 14, 15 months in the league? There's hardly any shots going on target. It's the same player, same formation, same way he just sticks Antonio up front by himself. There's no plan to win a game, to score a goal, to, dare I say, why should we even entertain the fans? What the hell's that all about, mate? The guy just needs to go. Give him the 6-7 million, walk away, and then see you later, mate. Epic, hope you're doing alright, mate. Oh. Part of me even says, like, yeah, we go down, the board deserves it, mate. They need to wake up, right? They're going to lose some value, whatever. I don't know, maybe we need to go down to wake the board up. I don't know, mate. Seriously don't know. But what is the board waiting for? There's no one out there. We've looked. Oh, he's got brownie points in the bag. I mean, what is going on? What is going on? It's absolutely... It is, and Jamie, you know how important this game is for West Ham fans. Even like the Chelsea game, mate. And we've just about got a draw against a very average Chelsea team, which you can see what they're like, mate. 10th, 11th in the league. Potter, bloody oath, matching David Moyes at the moment. Got this Tottenham team where Conte's in Italy recovering, was not even there. It's a good time to play them. And I kept telling you guys, draws are good as long as there's wins in there, right? So you look at it now, what is it, 2 points from 9, and then there's 6, 7 defeats if you go and look at the previous 10 games. I think Sky was saying we've got, was it 1 win in 11? Jeez, why is he still here? And then he's on the touchline speaking to people like Warburton. I mean, you tell me, would David Moyes, Warburton, would they motivate you? And you know they don't, because how many times they come out for that game and often in a match we're 1-0 down within a few minutes. Spurs actually made the first substitution after being 1-0 up. He didn't even do anything. He didn't even think about doing any substitutions. And even then, like you said, he brings off one striker, puts on another one. Just give it a go. Antonio by himself up front is appalling. The man can't do anything. But at least just start sticking someone with him just to see anything that works. If Skamaka's fit enough to be on the bench, he's obviously fit enough to start. I don't know, mate. Do you know, it is just a complete, it's a complete shit show, mate. That's the way it is. Yeah, I mean, Downs played and Souček was a little bit advanced at the beginning, but there was no real kind of idea of what was going on, you know. Ginger's sorting his camera out. I don't know what he's up to, but we'll get him in sooner or later. Moyes out, sorry, and we need attacking football. But I tell you what though, Chris, look how late they've left it, mate. The window's gone. And I know there's still half a decent few players in there, mate. But the longer this carries on, and you can see we don't have any captains, mate. We don't have any captains. Every time they were taking our players down, there was no one there to protect the player, have a go at the referee, G the players up, give that fist pump like Billy Bonds used to, or Scott Parker recently. There's no one there, mate. You know, and look at them. You saw Harry Kane rolling around. You saw Højbjerg in the face of the referee, winding everyone up. This is what we want. We're just too nice. Look at Bowen. Bowen got smashed to bits throughout that game. And he just kept getting up. And I'm like, Bowen, make a bit of a meal of it. Get these people booked, mate. And Tony, again, very lucky to stay on the pitch. The daft Pillet, you know, mistimed a couple of tackles. Lucky to be on there, mate. There's so much wrong with this. Well, board we know. Club we know in different aspects, mate. And Rice, yeah, he's kind of frustrated figure, cutting a very frustrated figure at the moment, you know. And Spurs, yeah, they're going to give it to us tonight, tomorrow, whatever, online. It's good luck to them, mate. Seriously. You saw nothing, mate. You saw absolutely nothing, mate. I mean, Antonio pressing, kind of nothing going on there. Kehrer, again, very lucky to give away a penalty. I don't know what's going on, mate. It was just all over the pitch. Are you with us, sir? Are you still messing about? What are you doing? God, sir. What are you going to do? Oh, mate. What's he doing? Oh, mate. Yeah, mate. Seriously, there's hardly any shot to speak about. And the wing backs, mate. Look at their wing backs and look at our wing backs and look at the wing backs of any club, mate. You're meant to be there as a wingers. That's why it's called wing backs. You're actually meant to be in the wing. Certainly more advanced than the halfway line. And I don't think I remember hardly any of Emerson Kafal going down the wing and actually setting anything up. It's absolutely nuts, mate. Absolutely nuts. Oh, mate, Richard, even if he started, mate, I don't think anything would have changed, mate. But I hope you're well, mate. Hope you're well. I think even when he sees press conferences, he's just, it's like his job interview, isn't it? It's like his job interview, really. It's kind of crazy. Hey, Frankie, you all right, mate?
Yeah, lovely, mate.
Good effort, though. Good derby. Sight end to end. Nice whip, mate. One-touch football. Angry. Yeah, take it away, mate. Angry. Take it away.
I don't even know where to begin. Well, I do know where to begin. All week, just the whole build-up to this football match. Just the wrong mentality, the wrong mindset. And then to see that lineup of that 8 at the back with this Downs experiment that he's going with at the moment, which I can't understand for the life of me where he's got it from. I feel really sorry for Downs, actually, mate, to be honest with you. Waiting his chance like that, and then he gets stuck in some random position that Moyes is experimenting with. Just the whole thing, mate. 8 defensive players on that pitch. And what I'm really struggling with, right, there are people telling, and will try and tell you, that was a tough match today, that Tottenham are a good side, top 4 side, Champions League football team, blah, 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 right? With their injuries and the way their lineup on paper was nothing, mate. We shouldn't have had any problem with that today. And that showed in that first half. They weren't that good. They weren't that good at all. We absolutely could have got something from that football game today. And if we had anything about us, any sort of attacking intent, any desire to want to win that game, I genuinely believe that we could win that game. And instead, we've gone out there like that, so passive, barely had a shot on goal, barely had a shot. It's disgusting, mate. They've got a goalkeeper in there who hasn't been tested, hasn't played, didn't put balls into the box. We didn't test him with shots. We tested him with nothing. Just the whole thing was just embarrassing. And to go to Tottenham with no fight and no will to win and feel like you can sit back like that and try and play out for a point, because that's what he did. He played for a 0-0. David Moyes today has played for a 0-0 draw. Is absolutely disgusting. And I want nothing to do with a football club that goes to their rival and doesn't offer anything to win the match. All they want to do is just absolutely play out for a point. And, mate, it is just... I never thought I'd see the day. We've had bad times in the past when we've had squads far worse than Tottenham's. Our squad isn't worse than Tottenham's anymore. We're on par with Tottenham. And we've still gone there and had a go. We've still gone there and tried to compete. We've still gone there and tried to beat them. And instead, we've gone there today and just absolutely bottled it, mate. That's what we've done, bottled it. And hoped that we could get a 0-0 out of that game. I'm done with not trying to win football matches. It's finished. It's over for me. And David Moyes this evening has got to go. And anyone thinking, right, next week against Nottingham Forest is a gimme. Forest have got far too much for us in terms of desirability, passion, effort, energy. Forest against City barely touched the ball, but they never gave up. They will have far too much for us next week. And the best thing that we could do is get rid of David Moyes right now, mate. Enough is enough. We need to start winning football matches, mate.
Ginge, take it away, mate.
Fucking hell, man. Same shit. I was thinking someone who's doing the first half or the half time.
I can't hear you, Ginge. Audio, I can't hear you.
You're underwater, mate.
Yeah, I can't hear you.
Right, let me come
properly.
Back in.
Huh?
Can you hear me now?
You sound like you're about as buried as much as we.
Yeah, what are you using? What are you using? Your phone or?
Yeah, phone.
No, it's not very clear, mate.
Right, 1 minute.
Yeah, put headphones on or something. It'd be better.
What did you think, Jazz? I ain't heard you, mate, because I've just joined. How was you on it today?
I first of all wanted to speak about the so-called soft West Ham fans that leading up to this game have been glorifying over the last two draws, the
Yep.
semi-final defeat last season, and just having a go at us, our particular channel and show, saying we're a bunch of moaners. And what are these fans on about? If that's what you want, you go and support someone else, mate. You know, that is not my club, what's happening at the moment.
Yeah.
And I kept telling these guys, we haven't won anything in a while. They were going into particularly London derbies, Frankie, with no plan to win or even have a shot at goal, or even dare we say score a goal. That's not fair for the fans who are spending money. They've gone there today. Even people like you giving up a couple of hours to watch it on TV. Mate, I've just got up from the sofa for 2 hours and I'm thinking, what have I wasted my life on? What did I get out of sitting there? And you're probably thinking, God, I could have done so much with the family, you know?
Mate,
Absolutely nothing.
My boy sat there and watched it, and he's so disillusioned, and he can't believe how angry I am. He can't believe how frustrated I am. He sees these other teams, and they've got something about them. We've got nothing about us. And you're right. See these last games, right, where people thought it was a good point against Newcastle, and it was a good point against Chelsea, and it was amazing beating Derby County. You didn't even want to win that game because they're more interested in trying to get promoted right now. People saying we turned the corner. What corner have we turned, mate? Because what I saw was a Newcastle side totally focused on the cup final. They just had a massive emotional high of making it to that cup final. Their Declan Rice was missing, which is Bruno Guimaraes. He was missing. If we were missing Declan Rice, we would go to pot. Newcastle were missing their big player. They've gone to pot. It wasn't that amazing getting a point at Newcastle with a team they had. Chelsea. We saw what Chelsea was all about yesterday, mate. Southampton showed you how good Chelsea are. If we wanted to beat Chelsea, I firmly believe that we could have beaten Chelsea. But we didn't want to beat them, so we did.
Hopefully we get Frankie back soon. I don't know what's happened. We got him back again. Sorry, go ahead, mate. Yeah.
It wasn't that good a result against Chelsea. They were there for the beating. Southampton's gone to their gaff, gone and rolled them over. That's how good Chelsea are. Yet people are sitting there telling you how amazing these results have been. These results haven't been amazing. We haven't turned no corner. We're exactly the same as we've been for however long, and we still cannot win a game to save our life. I don't know how many games that is now that we've only got one winning because Everton, and believe me one thing, mate, anyone would have beaten Everton that day. You know, a Sunday League team could have gone to Everton that day and beat Everton because they were so in disarray. They were just completely gone, Everton. And obviously Dyche's gone in there and massively started turning that around straight away. Not through any miracle, but through hard work, graft. He's got that saying he keeps coming out with at the moment. I can't remember what it is. Minimum expectation, maximum effort, or whatever it is. Well, it's working. 1 win in 11. 1 win in 11 is disgusting, mate. Absolutely disgusting. And now we're firmly in that relegation zone. All these people, so I'll tell you what's frustrating me more than anything, mate, right? You've got these people who tell you the reason why we won't get relegated is because there'll be 3 worse teams than us. So they're relying on 3 teams being worse than us for us to stay up, right? Then they all go and win, and they all turn around and go, oh, what's everyone looking at them teams winning for? We've only got to worry about us winning. Well, make your minds up. Are there 3 worse teams than us that are going to have less points than us? Or we got to start winning football matches? Mate, they flip-flop so mad. It's crazy. And at the end of the day, I'm telling you now, less than a point per game ratio, I've been saying it over and over again, will get us relegated. And we still can't buck that trend of less than a point per game ratio. We are bang, bang in trouble. And I'm telling you now, if you want to keep this geezer around you, this obnoxious, arrogant, horrible piece of is what he is, right? Because there's nothing I like about the man. We will get relegated.
Yeah, we did do a show, and it's the worst West Ham team I can ever remember. There's nothing in there.
But it ain't the worst West Ham team, is it? Because the squad's all right, mate.
No, I mean, how they're playing.
It's what Moyes is doing with them, isn't it? Yeah, it's what Moyes is doing with them. We ain't got a bad squad. This is a good squad. We're miles better than most of the teams down the bottom there, mate. But Moyes is ruining them, mate. Ruining them.
It is, and even the defending, mate. I know we talk a lot about how defensively he sets up, but even defending, mate, no one was really picking anyone up. And okay, Oggy lost.
I was terrible defensively.
Yeah,
terrible.
yeah. You know that Emerson guy. He's one of the very, very average player, mate, and he had so much time to slot that home, and it kind of started on the edge of the wing. I think Kufal lost his man, but then, listen, we all lose tackles and lose our people, but then there was no one really covering anyone up and helping out. No one was picking no one up. Kera could have, easily been a penalty in the opening stages of the game, but after seeing that first half, mate, and even who made the first substitutions, Frankie? It was Spurs after being 1-0 up. They made the first move to bring Son on.
Because do you know what? And we all said it at half time. I phoned the old man up and we said, as soon as Son comes on that football pitch, it's game over. You knew
he's going to score.
Far too much pace, far too much ability for us, and he would just walk through us and score. And he comes on, and job done, mate. It's just so easy for other teams, so easy.
Do you think he will be sacked tonight, mate?
I don't know, and I don't, because I think they will. And I shall tell you why they won't, right? Because everyone thinks that this Nottingham Forest game is a gimme. Everyone thinks this is a guaranteed 3 points, a guaranteed win. That's what everyone's thinking. Moyes is thinking that. Loads of the fans are thinking that. Well, if you look at the form and you look at how Forest played against City, while they weren't great and City were far superior than them, their passion, desire, commitment, what they have will be far, far too much for us, mate. And they'll give him the City game, the Nottingham Forest game, because they'll think that's a guaranteed 3 points. And they'll get a big shock, a big shock. And see this silly David Moyes, right, who only cares about the Conference League right now, because that's all he cares about, right? David Moyes thinks he's going to stroll to this 2-bob Intertoto equivalent trophy that has been created 2 years ago that we're so excited about, right? This 2-bob trophy that he thinks he's going to stroll to the final and win it. See, when he's got to go out to a tough game in Turkey or he's got to go to Eastern Europe, he's going to get a massive, massive shock, mate. Because if we've got David Moyes, I'm telling you now, we will get ironed out by some 2-bob team that we shouldn't get beat by. Because this man is an out-and-out loser. That's what he is. He's a complete and utter loser. He had a good backroom staff around him over the last couple of years that supported him and propped him up and sort of helped him get to where we got to. And we stumbled across something and we ran with it. And mate, fantastic. You know, a good time that we had while doing it. But the wheels fell off after about 18 months and we've never, ever recovered ever since. And there's only one way that we're going right now, and that is very quickly out of this 2-bob Conference League, very quickly out of the FA Cup, and very quickly on our way to the Championship, unless something changes very, very fast, mate. I only hope and pray that against Nottingham Forest, we don't go and get a point or get some lucky win from somewhere, like in at the early stages of the season, when we was getting lucky points against Villa and something like that, and that keeps him in his job, because a 1-0 win against Nottingham Forest, while we'd all get excited about it, that ain't going to be enough to save us, mate. So I never want West Ham to lose. I love West Ham. I'll always back West Ham to win. I still think we'll go to Old Trafford and pull something out the bag, because I always believe, mate. I always believe in West Ham. I actually thought we'd beat Tottenham today 1-0, because I looked at their team and I thought they ain't that good. They ain't that Richarlison, all of that. They ain't that good, mate. They ain't that good. We should have gone there and got something there today, mate. I don't care what anyone says. They ain't that good a side right now, and we had more than enough to. But, mate, I'll tell you now, that game, see with their defence, if you had Antonio on the right, if you had Ings or Skamaka up front, and you had Ben Rama on the left, you win that football match. I've got no qualms that we win that game. How has he left Ben Rama on the bench and thought playing Downs instead of him is a good idea? That's criminal. I can't believe he's done it. And that's all part of why we've lost that game today, mate. Not good enough.
I mean, is it fair to say virtually everyone in the team was just not at the races today, isn't it, really? I mean, Souček showed a few glimpses in the first half of going forward a bit and did clear a lot of balls from the area, from their set pieces, but there's nothing really to write home about, and it gets us close to saying, what we've always felt, that the players are not really playing for him anymore, and they're kind of hinting to the board, are you going to do something or not? And I think he's got to be sacked now. I think so. I mean, it can't carry on. This is nuts, mate. You know, you actually are in the bottom 3 now, before, due to 1 or 2 results and goal difference, you kind of kept out of it, Nate. But psychologically, you are in the bottom three, and we've seen Rice in the week saying he can't handle it. He hates looking at the table. Bottom three, mate. Mate, and it's just nuts.
Problem is, other teams are starting to win. These teams weren't winning. They've made changes. They're starting to win. We will end up if we, you know what it's like, mate. When you end up in that bottom three, you go and win a game, but everyone wins round you. You can get real stuck in now. And mate, the Southampton win means they're back in the races and they're in the mix. You know, Leeds have dropped in there, but Leeds, if they sort their manager situation, could turn around quite quickly. You know, Sean Dyche has got more points out of his 3 games with Everton than we could ever dream of right now. Mate, it's scary, scary times. I'm telling you, we've got to wake up and realise that we're in that relegation zone now. I just hope Sullivan looks at that table and gets a massive, massive realisation that the worst could happen here. There isn't no, we're not going to go down. We're banging it. And we could see that this is the way it was going to go, mate. All of us could see it. It's a big, big problem, mate. Big problem.
The bigger problem could be if someone like I don't know, if a manager comes in who again plays very similar to Moyes and that kind of thing. We do need a complete turnaround in tactics.
Mate, we missed out on our man, Dyche. Dyche would have been all right. He would have got us out of the crap that we're in. He would have got us working hard. He would have got us playing a bit of football. You know, it wouldn't have been pretty, but it would have solved our situation, mate. I really believe that. And everyone sort of didn't want him and turned their back on him because they still felt like we were. If it was before Christmas and it was before the World Cup, then Dyche was the wrong move because we still had enough clout about us that I think we could have attracted a better manager than that. And we weren't in dire straits. We weren't in a good place, but we weren't in a terrible place. We left it so long to a point that what we needed was that manager that just comes in and gets you out the stick. And Dyche would have been that man, mate. He would have turned this around by now. He would have got us a couple of wins in the last couple of games and we would be pushing on. Right now, anyone who wants to come in and try and win football matches is good enough for me, mate. That will do me. Just someone who wants to win football matches again.
I think so, and you're right. At the same time, if you're going to bring someone like him, just give him a contract till the end of the season in the summer, and then try to look for something a bit better, perhaps. But I don't think they've got. Cosmos
just commented there, mate. No club has ever won fewer points away this season than West Ham. That's mad. Mad.
Gingy's back. Gingy, can we hear you?
Is everything better now?
Yeah, you got to go close to the phone, mate.
Go on.
Yeah, go on. Yeah, take it away, go on. Take it away, go on.
I keep changing devices, don't I? So.
Yeah, that's all right. It's better than before.
I wish we could change manager, mate.
Yeah, so do I. Right now. Well, 5 months ago, to be fair. It's just the same shit. Different week, same shit. I was speaking to someone at half time and they were saying how good we were playing. And I said, are you been smoking roof rack? I said, we're not playing good. We just had a little bit of every man helping him, helping the next man to him. We played good defensively. We tried winning back balls together. We run together and got the blocks and defended. We done fuck all going forward. That first minute could have been 1-0 up. Gets it on target. That's going in. But obviously it's not to be. Souček, I thought, done well in the first 20 minutes. Winning back balls high up in the pitch. And then their attacking players done fuck all. It's just the same shit. We can't finish. We play tippy-tappy football around the box. Take one extra touch, one extra pass. The passes are shit. The passes are behind the man, not to the feet or into the path of their runs. It's just fucking baffling. As a player, I'm just analysing the play. And it's like, Bowen done my fucking Sweden today. Because when you go into press, he then runs. Does he know the difference between goal side? Because when he's going to press, he runs. It's all right anticipating the ball's going to go back towards either their deepest centre back or towards the keeper, and he's going to press. That's all well and good if you know it's going to go there. But you've got to cover your angles. You've got to cut the forward pass out first. You've got to cut that angle out first. Make sure that's covered and then go for your run. But he moved, slightly, all over to the fucking side. So he created a big, massive gap. So if he does then go, or even if he stands still, they just played right through us. And it's so frustrating. It's like you're a Premier League footballer and you don't know to cut the fucking angles, first and foremost. And then don't get me started with the crosses and the corners. Can't even beat a fucking first man.
Yeah,
Professional-
Bowen
Mate,
wasn't very good.
we have at the moment, mate, one shot on target per game. If you think you're going to win football matches having one shot on target per game, you've lost the plot. You cannot win football matches with one shot per game. You can't.
No, exactly.
Yeah. Hammer 89, like I was saying earlier, I think he's got to go now. He's got to go. I think it'll be crazy to keep him on any longer. Games are running out. Other teams around us are picking up a win here and there. It's like our fans, Ginger. I thought we drew 2 games, and not the fans thought we're moaning for no reason, that we're doing all right. I'm like, God, Jesus, can't be happy with that, you know.
I was happy at the time, yeah, because a point up in Newcastle. All right, they're not playing as good as they were at the start of the season. I was happy with a point away at Newcastle. Chelsea, I thought we could have got something. We could have got something out of it. I mean, we could have got something out of Newcastle, but I thought overall a point at each of those, even though we're playing Chelsea at home and we could have got to them. I thought we were very lucky in the first half not to be 2 or 3-0 down with the way we were playing. So overall, a point in each of those is good. Not the performance, but a point in each of those are good. But only as long as we go and do the business tonight.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
exactly.
like Frankie was saying a week ago, it's all well and good having this point, but if we go and lose today, then what's that point matter? He'd rather lose 2 games and win one of them. At least we get more points. But it's just shocking. Like Frankie said earlier, the Tottenham team, the Tottenham lineup was fucking shocking. On paper,
It weren't a good Tottenham side, mate. I don't care what anyone says. Don't tell me
what I'm saying.
that was an impossible game to win, because it wasn't.
I mean, I thought our lineup compared to Tottenham's, we should piss all over it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm with you there. I looked at that Tottenham side and I thought, this is a bang average, pretty poor Tottenham side. I saw their midfield and I thought, Skip in there with who was the other fella with Højbjerg. I thought, do you know what? We're supposed to have Declan Rice. You know, the main man, the guy who's worth 150 odd million pound. I thought he would absolutely have a field day in the midfield against them two. And then you've got, Souček in there with him, which, he's been on better form. Don't tell me he hasn't. He was one of the better players today. He has been on better form. But the weird thing was, we just took out the whole balance of our team by this Downs experiment that Moyes is messing around with right now. I don't really understand what he's trying to do with it. I've got to be honest with you, mate. I like Downs. I want to see Downs more in his proper position. But if you wanted that slightly ahead of Rice and Souček midfielder in there, what is wrong with Pablo Fornals? He runs. He is a bit more creative. For whatever reason, Moyes has got so upset with Fornals, like he does with other people when he falls out with people, that the man can't even get near the team anymore. In a London derby, Fornals' passion, his heart, his work rate. I don't rate Fornals. I think he's a bang average footballer, right? But if you said to me right now, who would you rather see out there as the more progressive midfielder? Do you want, well, actually, to be fair, the man that should have been out there, which we all know, is Ben Rama. Ben Rama should have been on that pitch as that player. But if you're not going to want to play Ben Rama for whatever reason, you've got to play Fornals there. He's more creative. He can play a pass. He can link up with Bowen and Antonio. I don't understand what he was doing with Downs today. I don't get it.
No, it's like I don't want to single out many players, but they all were not very good. Ginge, it's probably fair to say this is the worst West Ham performing team that you've seen since you followed West Ham, mate, in terms of what's going on the pitch.
I don't know, because there have been a few seasons where I've been like, we were absolutely dog shit. The Evan Grant, that was dog shit. But the only thing that disappoints me is, on paper, we've got such a good side on paper, but you can't win fucking games. You can't progress on paper, and for whatever reason, Moyes is not getting the best out of this team. Him himself is not picking the best team. He's not picking the best formation, the best system to suit the players that he's choosing. And I agree with Frankie about the Fornals and Downs experiment today. Could have had Fornals in there, would have been a lot better. like Frankie said, it's the creativity, and he runs. He's a hard worker. He's got passion, and I think today, why we got beat was they were kicking the shit out of us, right? But regardless of the ref, whether he was giving it or should have given it or didn't give it or whatever, regardless, they were kicking us up in the air. We were fucking dangling a toe in. Yeah, it's just not fucking good enough. It's a London derby. It's fucking Tottenham. Kick the shit out of them. Yeah, kick the shit out of them. Put them on the floor. Make them eat dirt, and then fucking get up and play football.
We don't have any captains, leaders, Ginge. We've got none of those in there that'll give them the fist pump and go in there, mate.
Jazz, it doesn't take a captain or a leader to kick someone up in the air to let them know that you're there.
We're too nice, mate. We're too nice. We're too nice, mate.
Oh, that's bollocks. That's bollocks.
We're too soft around the edges, mate. We haven't got a single player on that football pitch who can go and put in a proper tackle and fire up the team and get everyone going. And I say it a million times, and I'll say it again. And I don't want to dig the man out. He's a quality football player. He's been everything to us over the past 2 years, you know. But Declan Rice is not a leader. Not at any point have us seen the man look like he's concerned about the position that we're in. I expect our captain, if you're 2-0, if you're 1-0 down against Tottenham, you go 1-0 down. I expect him to be geeing everyone up. I expect him to be showing that there's a leader on the football pitch. I want to see him put in that massive tackle the next time they've got the ball. I want to see him pick the ball up and drive the team forward and go, come on, West Ham, I want to see a bit of that. I don't see any of that. I see a man who just wants to be everybody's friend, who wants to be mates with everyone, who wants to go to the Brit Awards to hand out awards, who wants to be a celebrity, blah, 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 blah. Mate, we've got to get back to the nitty gritty like Everton have done. Minimum expectation, maximum effort. That's what we need. We don't actually need anything miraculous right now. I think if we could get back to just hard graft and putting it in and stop going on podcasts. Moyes has got to stop going on podcasts. Noble's got to stop going on podcasts. Antonio's got to stop going on podcasts. See all these players who think they're becoming online celebrities. What Sullivan needs to do is he needs to put his foot down, Sullivan, and get the media team and go, you're all blocked. Until we start winning football matches again, there ain't no going on no podcasts. None. Zero. What you need to do is put your effort and time and energy into on that training ground, put in extra effort, put in extra graft, start putting it in and start thinking every second of your life about how you're going to start winning football matches with West Ham again. Because it's becoming a joke. It's becoming an absolute joke. There is no actual focus on the position we're in. All we're doing is trying to be online celebrities. It's madness, mate. It's really frustrating me.
Yeah, and I think, like you said... Right. Yeah. Go ahead, sorry.
I make you right, because why are you in an active duty, whether you're a footballer or a football manager, being allowed to go onto these podcasts and talking utter bollocks? And like Frankie said before, if you're connected to West Ham, if you're in a contract, our media team have got to approve it in the first place. Yeah, so it's got to be approved before the club say, yeah, that can go out or that can't go out. Yeah?
It's very hard for the media team to put a block on something when David Moyes is also doing it. David Moyes is he's on the Football Daily podcast. He's on Diary of a CEO podcast. He's on every podcast there is going right now. It's very hard for the media team to say to the players, you can't go on no podcast when the manager's pissing around going on podcasts every 5 minutes himself.
Exactly. And I make you right there about Sullivan. That's where he should be. He owns a football club. He has the final say. You fucking own everyone in that football club because you are the majority owner. So you have the final say. If it's not happening on the pitch, then you start telling them, no, you ain't fucking doing this, you ain't doing that, you ain't doing that until you get things right. It's just we're just a shambles at the minute. We're a fucking laughing stock, and everyone's still clinging on to the last 2 years. I see a comment there just now about how we've 52 games and we've won about 15 of them in 52.
Yeah, but as soon as I put out enough's enough, this arrogant, obnoxious, useless geezer is ruining our football club. Because I tell you what right now, and this is what worries me, See what happened to Sunderland and all that. Don't think that can't happen to West Ham, because
it will.
when we don't own our stadium and you can't get bank loans against the stadium and everything else, and you can't prop yourself up and support yourself financially, right? We own nothing anymore. West Ham is so fragile as a football club that our Premier League status is everything. If you go down, now the parachute payments are being removed and everything else, right? We could drop like a stone and drop straight down to League One as well. It would be a travesty if West Ham gets relegated. There are all these fans that spout, oh, I'd take winning the Conference League and getting relegated. That's fine because we win a trophy. Oh, I'd take winning the FA Cup and get relegated. I'm telling you now, the last thing we want is to get relegated, because we could drop like an absolute stone, mate. And don't think that, see that stadium, you imagine 25,000 in that soulless bowl. It's soulless anyway. Imagine 25,000 fans in there. It will be horrible. And we won't win football games at home. When we went down in the past, we had our fortress that still had 30,000 in it every single week, and we roared them back to the Premier League, right? See that's gone, because what you'll have is a completely under half empty stadium, and it will be horrible to play in. It will be nasty. And teams will come there and have a field day because they'll think we've got this big pitch, you know, they've got no atmosphere. They'll come and have a field day, mate. It is so dangerous what we're doing at the moment and what we're playing with. It is such a risk. I'm telling you, mate, such a risk. And I'm worried, really, really worried for West Ham right now. But 2 weeks ago, or however long it was at Derby, we've got people shouting, we've got Super David Moyes still. Mate, I can't get my head around it. I really can't get my head around it. Steve said he disagrees. We won't drop to League One. 3 relegations. We've come back up. I was there, mate. I went every time we've gone down. I went to every single game. I remember getting the train with Joby McAnuff's dad and all that, and it was brilliant times. And don't get me wrong, some of the times we've gone down, it's actually cleansed the fan base a little bit. All the fair weather people have gone and all the hardcore have come back. And I've had brilliant times in the Championship. This time will be different. No parachute payments. You could get financially stuck down there. With, like I said, a half-empty stadium, it will be horrible, mate. You really, really don't want to get stuck. Normally, I don't mind going down. I have a bit of fun. We get to a playoff final. It's a big day out. You know, it ain't the end of the world, because I'd support West Ham if we was in the conference, mate. It don't make no difference to me. But I really do feel like this time it'll be different if we're relegated. I think we've got to do everything we can to avoid it, mate. I really do.
It's not financial beneficial for West Ham to go down. Like you said there, people were saying that I'll take winning a trophy because they haven't seen us win a trophy and get relegated. They don't understand the fact that if we go down, we are finished financially. For a lot of the reasons that you've explained just there, Frank. You know what I mean?
That's right, and it won't be the same, mate. It won't be the same. It won't be the same.
It won't.
And then see old what's his face, your old Kretinsky and all that. Don't think he won't bail on you after 5 minutes and say see you later. That money's insignificant to him, what he's invested. He won't want to hang about for you, mate. I'll tell you, the gap that financially we're going to get between the Premier League and the Championship is going to get so vast now that the last thing you want to do is see yourself go down, mate. It would be a nightmare. And to tell you what else we don't have. In them days, we had good youth academy that when we went down, we had players who could come in and play. We've neglected our youth academy completely. So if you go down, don't think you're going to turn on all your youngsters, because you won't.
You ain't going to want to play.
Yep. Tim from American Hammers TV, hope you're doing well, mate. If you're watching now, Tim, send me a message on Twitter, mate. I'll try to get hold of you in the week, but hope everything's well. But yeah, Tim's a realist, and I remember Tim, he absolutely hated David Moyes coming in, and yeah, he thought we might could draw, but it was actually far worse than anyone could have thought, even the positive Moyes sort of people that they like you. Frankie, any comments on Antonio, mate, today?
Just same old. Should I tell you what annoys me, right? The man, when he actually had when he was useful and actually had a bit of something about him, was like a glass vase and would get fucking broken every 5 minutes and always injured. Now he's absolutely too bob. He stays injury-free constantly and he can play every single game. Mate, I'd have no problem with his hamstring going right now. And I know people say that's mad because we need him. I don't think we do need him. I think what we've screamed for the last couple of years was new forwards, and proper centre forwards, but people who know how to play centre forward. We've gone and got them in Skamaka and Danny Ings, and they can't even get on the football pitch, mate. They can't even see them play. It's madness. We've got to sign 2 strikers. They don't even get near. For me, I just, if Skamaka was fit enough to be on that bench tonight, he was fit enough to play. Ings is a proper striker. We've seen him. We've seen his ability. Just get Ings on up there, mate. But the problem is when you play with 8 defensive players and you get nobody forward, you have to play Antonio because you need a big lump to try somehow to hold it up when there's nobody else around him. And I will, as much as it's madness because the man is finished as a footballer, I will give him a little bit of a break in that if you don't get anyone forward on that football pitch, what is Antonio supposed to do? Exactly. And it's the same with Soufal. Soufal, I know his crossing isn't brilliant, but he must get there sometimes and think, well, who am I meant to hit this to? Because there's no one in the box. Same down the other side, Emerson, he must get there and think, well, what do I do with it now? Because there's no one there to touch. There's no one there to hit. If you've got one player in the box, you've got one player in the box versus their 3 or 4 defenders, you must look and think, well, what am I meant to do with this then? And the same with Antonio. He tries to hold the ball up. He puts himself around. He has tried a little bit harder in the Chelsea game and so on and been a bit more of a nuisance and been a bit more energetic. But every time he wins the ball, there's no one anywhere near him. There's no one to feed off him, no one to give the ball to. I don't like Antonio. I don't like how he handled the last transfer window. I don't like him going on podcasts. But I will give him a bit of a squeeze that we're so deep and we've got nobody forward that I don't think there's much more he can do at the moment, mate, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, there's so much you can. There's only so much you can blame Antonio for, and we've done that. He's picked up his performance. Granted, it's not great, but what's he supposed to do? Like you say, he's done this for months and months and months, where he would be the furthest man forward. We lump it up, and he's got fuck all around him within 20, 30 yards. And there's only so much he can hold it up and shrug players off and protect the ball before he's swarmed of opposition players, pickpocketing him, kicking him. And then at that point, he's then got to try and battle player there, and try and look up and find the pass at the same time. No one helps him. When we pick up the ball today, everyone fucking run forward. Everyone shied away going forward today when we were picking up the ball in an attacking midfield sort of on the edge of the final third sort of area. And I watched them all. They all fucking run off. Whereas Tottenham, they were coming in off a man, or they were creating a space in between the midfield and the defence, finding that little pocket. We done nothing. We sat in front of their midfield, made it easier for them to either tackle us or mark us, and they forced us to go back and sideways. We couldn't do fuck all. And it's disgusting how these players cannot move and create a space. It's basic mathematics. If you know that if you can't see a player because there's an opposition player in the way, you then go and find your own space to receive the ball. Yeah, you never ever stop walking on a football pitch. Never ever stop moving on a football pitch, even if it is walking.
I've just seen Football London because I'm waiting for the Moyes press conference. Time for Moyes. Moyes is just about to speak, so I will. I'll run through some of his quotes while we're on the stream. But Football London gave Thomas Souček as our star man, and before the game, the vast majority of fans saying that the player that you don't want to be playing is Thomas Souček. What do you both make of Souček today? For me, I felt like he wasn't great. I think the last couple of games he's been one of the better players, mate. And I know he's coming into a lot of stick, and I know he's limited, but he's being one of the better ones, isn't he?
Well, I said earlier, obviously about Souček, he was pressing high. He won the ball a few times in the final third, and he started off what could have been a dangerous move if we'd put the ball on target or whatever. But he'd nicked it off of them outside the edge of their box a few times, and he created something. And obviously, our other players just couldn't finish it. And I thought it was decent in the first half. Obviously, the second half is non-existent because we come out and we played like schoolboys. Fuck knows what Moyes told them. We've got this. We're on top. Let's just take it easy. I can just imagine him saying something like that. Take it easy, boys. We've got this. It's all us. We'll get a goal. And then Tottenham come out all firing. And then we go to pot. Silly mistakes at the back. But yeah, I thought Souček was was decent in the one
I
half
think,
that West Ham actually played in.
yeah, I think Moyes has been in charge long enough to work out and fix situations. And yeah, Souček looked okay today because I think he was slightly more advanced, and then he had Downs behind him. Even though Downs was like, yeah, it wasn't a very good game for him or anyone else there. But why does it take David Moyes like a whole season and a half to work out why Souček's form's gone downhill or how to use him? Transfer window, all the players that are coming in, he just doesn't use any of them in the right way. It's just all over the pitch, isn't it, gentlemen? He just doesn't know tactically how to set up with the players and squad he's got. And then again, yeah, perhaps what Frankie said all along is like he stumbled across something that worked. He got a bit fluky, a bit lucky, but longer term, he doesn't quite figure out who he needs to buy, how he needs to use them, tactically how to set teams up, how to in-game management. He just lost it, mate. 7-8 transfer windows he's had, and look at the state of West Ham. We're in the bottom three. Very, very poor today, mate. The manager's got to go, I think, for me. He's got to go, isn't he?
Well, I think that way. He's just come out with the press conference now. He said we didn't defend well on a couple of occasions. Gave them too much encouragement. Gave them too much encouragement in the second half. We got caught on the ball twice. We gave them encouragement, but we didn't get on it. On dropping into the relegation zone, if we've been here, I think more of us. Well, I'd be very concerned if he didn't realise that we dropped into the relegation zone and come out and said, if we have. And then on the defensive struggles, we've not been scoring enough goals. We need to try and not concede any in the main because we were not strong in the first half. So that says it all, mate. He's saying we're not scoring enough goals, so we need to try and not concede any. Basically, what he's saying is, I can't rely on us to score a goal in a game, so what we've got to do is try and not concede and play for a 0-0. He's literally just told you what his game plan is right there. We don't score, we need to try and not concede. Basically, play to get a point. That's it. It's madness, mate.
Yeah, Ryan, how you doing, mate? I can see from your face that you've had enough, haven't you? Yeah, well, no, not really.
I mean, the thing is, what I don't get with him is that a point is not good. We're not playing for draws. I'd rather go out there and play 4 or 5 attackers, and we lose 2 or 3-0, but at least we've had a go. And 3 points is better than 1 point, anyways. What is the difference between 1 and 0 points when you're down there? We want the 3 points. You know, I just don't understand. Like 8 defenders, it's just getting a joke. It is really a joke.
Well, I thought we had 3 goalkeepers on the pitch today. Tommy Souček against Chelsea being a goalkeeper, and Kehrer today. I thought we got away with that.
Oh, Carrera is not good enough either. He's awful, absolutely awful.
I mean, I think Ryan, he's got to go now, isn't he, Moyes?
Yeah, I mean. Come on, the board have got to be looking at it. He's put 3 in midfield, and our 2 right. If our 2 attackers were banging in goals, then fair enough. It's Antonio and Bowen who are both out of form. So why? I just don't understand it. Why not just play Ings?
Mate, you're right. Why not play Ings? Why not play Skamaka? If he's fit enough to sit on the bench, why not play him?
Innit? What's the point of bringing him if he's just going to sit on the bench?
Exactly right, mate.
Certainly, like you said, when we went 1-0 down, mate, Spurs made the first change. They brought Son on. So even by then, we still hadn't made the change. And when we did it, we knew he's going to take 1 striker off and put 1 on. It's just mind-boggling, mate. You know, trying to get back in the game.
Away struggles. We've won 1 game away from home all season. Moyes on the away struggles. I know we've lost 2-0 today, but we've not lost many games by multiple goals. Our away form, I just can't put my finger on it.
It's a man lost, mate. Man's gone, mate.
That is the manager who works for the players day in, day out, and he can't put his finger on it. He's just what?
Can't put his finger on it, mate. Why we've only won 1 game away from home all season. But we've not lost many by multiple goals, so that's all right. Does he not realise that it don't matter whether you lose by 1 goal or 10 goals, you've still lost the football match and got 0 points? That's what it is.
As long as you've got 8 defenders on the pitch, it's completely fine.
Because that's what he does. He's always excuses. Oh, we never get beat by more than 2 goals. To him, that's success. The man is an out-and-out loser.
10 defenders. Obviously, we're not going to concede more than 2 goals.
Exactly right.
Well, if we did
concede more than 2 goals, we'd be awful. With 8 defenders on the pitch.
I think.
To be fair, with 8 defenders on the pitch, if you concede 1 goal, that's fucking shocking.
Well, what I can't work out, all of you, mate, is he gets sacked, but we're not linked really with any real names that.
There was Sari, wasn't there? Sari, what? Yeah, but
Yeah, but is that all?
that won't come
Is that all paper
Rafa.
talk?
I don't want Rafa.
Sarri's at Lazio, I think, isn't he? And they're 5th in the league. Very, very. I think the Napoli are running away with it, 15-point lead, but the rest are all bunched together, mate. And in this, you are risking, like I said, it's got to be a manager who's out of work and easy to get and cheap to get. And I mean, obviously, Deitch is doing the best he can at Everton. He's got the team playing for him. I think that's 2 clean sheets in 3 for Deitch, which is not bad. Considering he hasn't got nothing up front like what we got, mate. He's got nothing.
Their squad is awful as well. McNeil and Iwobi on the wings.
It's all full of centre backs, mate. It's just go. Yeah, it's
Big
absolutely.
up Connor Cody and Tarkowski.
Yeah,
I just don't buy into this narrative. You've got some people saying that Leeds can't find a manager, that Southampton can't find a manager, blah 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 blah. There's plenty of managers out there, mate. Plenty of managers. They're just having a situation where they've brought in 3. I think Leeds have got 3 caretaker managers all round it, and feel like that's the best thing for them at the moment. Southampton sort of flirted with Rossi's face, the ex-Leeds manager. But they couldn't work out the length of the contract. I think he wanted a longer contract than they was prepared to offer him. At the end of the day, mate, you have to do something. And if you don't, we will keep continuing the way we are, which unfortunately will get you relegated. We have to change something. There are managers out there, don't care what anyone says. And even with the position we're in, we still should be able to attract someone, mate. We're still a big club, and this is what gets me all last week. All of this narrative about you can't expect to be competing in the top 7 every season when you're a club like West Ham. What? A club that's got the 15th highest revenue in world football, a club that just spent 300 million, a club that gets 60,000 supporters week in, week out, a club that was promised next level football by leaving our spiritual home and going to this new stadium. We are not a small club, and the fact that Noble spouted that trash with David Moyes is just as worrying. The fact that him and Moyes both think that we're too small a club to compete in the top 7. And all right, Moyesy, no problem, mate. There might be some times where a couple of teams come good, they end up finishing above us, and we finish 10th. That's fair enough, right? We have an odd season where you finish 10th. I'll tell you where we shouldn't be, 3rd from bottom right now. That's where we shouldn't be, but you've put us in that position, Moisey. And don't start giving it all that rubbish anymore about, where was you when I came here? Well, I'll tell you what, we're in a worse place, or just as bad place as we was when you did come in now, Moisey. So we haven't progressed as a football club in any way at all. So all of these things that people used to back him with are gone, finished, no credit, epoxy semi-final, just things that will never be of memory to us and won't stand us in any difference long term. The fact that we got to that semi-final doesn't make us more attractive as a football club, doesn't change anything long term. Next year, we'll have forgotten about that. Well, to be honest, I forgot about it after it was finished because we never got going in the semi-final, to be honest. But, it's just, we are so... And what annoys me, right, I look at it, and I see this club. I see the revenue we generate. I see the fans, 60,000. I see us going home and away. I see us spending £300 million. And I really genuinely believe that with the right people in charge at the top who actually want to do something with this football club and the right manager, I really, really believe that we could be an amazing football club, competing at the very top level and doing the things that at the moment Moyes says we can't do. I think we can do it. I really believe that. And it just pains me. And the reason why I get this frustrated is because we've got some fans who are so soft to understand that we should be a force. I believe West Ham should be a force. And I just wish other people would believe in us, mate, because we've seen little glimpses of what we could be. We're a sleeping giant. We're always, wherever you go in the world, West Ham fans are there. Don't matter where you go. There's West Ham fans everywhere, mate. And we deserve what we'd had over the last couple of seasons, more than that. We actually deserve to go and win something. And I really do believe that if we had proper people with the right mentality, winners at this football club, I think we could win things. I really do. And I think we could just try and compete more consistently in the top level a little bit more. But with this weak-minded manager, this loser, and with this board that we've got, I don't think we've got no chance, mate. And I just really hope that we don't get relegated, mate, because honestly, I feel like if we do, it could be a long few years, mate, being a West Ham fan. A long few years.
But look at the table and look at the owners. I mean, they've been in a good decade now or something like that, just over, mate. And like you said, yeah, we don't even own our own ground, or facilities are crap, and the youth, they're all leaving, you know. Whether they're good enough to make it, I don't know, but they're all leaving. And whether they're good enough to make it our club, some of them are going to Premiership clubs, which is kind of astounding, really. So they certainly see something in those players. But for me, it's just, it's a shit show. I mean, like you said, we didn't move into the London Stadium to be sitting in, February 2023. We're in the bottom three, mate. I mean, you couldn't even make that up, mate. And we're not talking, I know that there's a long way to go yet, but we're over halfway. So it has been going on for 13, 14 months in the league, and I'll still stick by it, and I think we should have won the Europa, mate, with Rangers, Eintracht Frankfurt in front of us. But don't forget, he didn't buy anyone in the window before that, and I've just had enough of him. He's got to go. But then it's got to be someone out of work, like Rafa, who's going to take it because he's got nothing to lose. I mean, I don't think we're going to perhaps get anyone out of sort of West Brom or someone like that. Certainly if they're going for top six or trying to get promoted or win something, the board has certainly got a lot of things to answer, mate. I mean, they brought David Moyes in, and the key is to kind of let go of them when the time is right. You don't keep keeping them on, you know. We weren't going to get any more out of him after the first couple of years. And the worst thing they've done is, they've given him 180, 190 million in the summer. Who's bought those players in, I don't know. But certainly what we can say is that I can't believe in history where someone has bought 8 players in and, mate, no one's made any meaningful impact on that is shocking stats. That's why I think this is the worst performing team I've seen on the pitch since I've followed West Ham. And even in that team under Avram Grant, we had Scott Parker, didn't we? We had Barr, I think, came in after January window. We had 1 or 2 other players, and I don't see anything here, mate. There's no captains, no leaders. It was a derby. I wanted us to put our foot in like they were doing it, get them back, kick them back. None of that, mate. Bowen got absolutely done at least 4 times. Kufal, was that Perisic on Kufal, wasn't it, mate? And then the call right in front of the linesman and something.
90 seconds, and he didn't even get a yellow for the first one. That's fucking disgusting. Right in front of the linesman. The linesman's there to assist the referee. Now, all this bollocks about the fourth official and the linesman can't get involved with the referee's decisions, a load of bollocks, because if you see something that the referee's missed, you have the right, you have communication with the referee to start with, you have the right to flag whatever and give your input to the referee. And then if the referee thinks, I must have missed something, he can then ask VAR to get involved. Yeah, but obviously VAR can't tell him that it's a yellow card. They can only say no, it's not a red card, or yes, it is a red card. And then the referee should then do his bit to determine what it is. That first one should be a fucking yellow card at least. It's late, it's reckless. His foot's off the ground, coming in with his studs. That's the first one.
We can say what we want. Flipping Aguerd was it Aguerd or Emerson who was playing bowling in the first half? He literally went down. I thought he was going to bowl a strike.
Emerson, I think, yeah. Aguerd wasn't too smart in a lot of situations in the game. Lee mentions Harry Redknapp. Listen, mate, I'm that desperate. I'm all right with it, mate, as long as Moyes is gone. I don't know if Harry's actually... Well, we're going to get some good football under him, mate, put it that way. You might see new Ben Rama and James will be happy.
Might see a 20-yard pass. God.
Listen, Harry puts his arm around you, says you're terrific, playing the football. You'll get the best out. Mate, does anyone know, is Harry actually looking for a job? I think he is.
We're definitely getting one.
Not.
Nice little play for him, mate.
Listen, Sky cameras zoomed in on Moyes and Warburton, and they were having a discussion, and I thought, God, that looks good.
If we have Warburton, after we are gone.
Mate,
The thing is, we're going to get Lampard. I know we are. We're going to get Lampard.
I said
I
it.
don't know. I think we can all see it coming. I think people are probably hit it about right. I think it will be Potter. I do. I think Potter will go very, very soon.
I don't mind
think
Potter.
We'll
That's
just grab
right.
him. I think that's what'll happen now. I really do.
Right.
I don't know what Potter tries to do in the pitch because I don't think he's got labelled that. I don't know what he's about.
Mate, he's like a kid in a candy shop, isn't he?
Players.
That's it. He's like a kid. He don't know what he's got. All these players around him. He's like, what do I play?
They've got no strikers, Frankie. They've got like everyone else.
How can
got
you
no.
spend nearly 600 million and still have Kai Havertz as your
No
striker?
Oh mate, no
It's awful.
striker. I'll tell you what, Crosshammer,
I
I
think
agree
Potter
with you.
probably would want to manage a championship club because he's been there before. I don't think he'd have a problem with it. I think he'd see us as a big. Well, maybe he's got more ambition than that. I don't know, but I love Roy Keane. I think that Roy Keane mentality.
Yeah, Keane.
I
love Keane.
For whatever reason, it don't quite work in modern day football because the players are too soft. The players have got too much ego. They're too precious. Someone who screams and shouts at them. This is what I'm saying. And this is why Di Canio didn't work out at other clubs and they all got upset by him and everything else. Because winners these days, the people were just, mate, the modern day youngster, they're all just too, just fairies, mate, aren't they? That's what they're like. It's I long for that Roy Keane mentality, Puyol, just a proper captain, a proper leader, someone who, you can really believe in and get behind. We're just lacking that massively at the moment, and just all across the pitch, mate. Just we've got no one up the top who can do it. We've got no drive in midfield. We've got no centre half who can do it. I know a lot of people have touted this Aguerd for captain in the future and everything else. I know he's a great defender, and he's getting a bit caught out at the moment, but I think it's because he's got the players around him that he's got and not helping him. And I think Ogbonna's the weak link right now.
Yeah, when you've got a centre back that's wearing gloves, you got
a problem. And to tell you what Ogbonna used to do is he used to come out and meet every header. He don't even do that no more. There was a couple of times today where I thought Ogbonna would come out and normally see that away, and he hasn't been.
That's for Frankie.
Is he vocal enough? Is he a leader? I don't know. We're just silent on the football pitch. Do you know what I'd love? I'd love to see this current team like it was in COVID when there was no fans and you could actually hear the players on the football pitch. I'd love to hear how vocal we are because for me, all I can see is a load of people who are just mouth shut, quiet, not communicating. Just nothing about them, mate. It's really poor.
It is. Ginge, any managers out there that you think could come in, mate?
Just going on Bonner. The goal they scored, Son, their second goal. What the fuck is he doing to Kane? Is he trying to fucking urban rodeo or fucking hump him up the arse or something? Because he's playing the man and not playing the ball. Yeah? It just baffles me because I've played in defence. If you're going to do that, you've either got to go over him and fucking get it out, or you wait for him to take that touch on the half turn and just fucking go through him. He's just inside the half by about 10 yards. He's not in a shooting opportunity at the box. Fucking just take him out. You've only got two players behind you covering you, and you've got Son running through. You do not let him turn.
Covering you, I'd be a bit worried.
Exactly. So you take one for the team and you fucking put Kane on his arse because he's dangerous anyway. And you don't try and fucking manhandle him. He done it so half-hearted today, and that was our thing in the second half. Our passes were half-hearted, our runs were half-hearted. Everything was half-hearted in that first half. It was absolutely dog shit. But manager-wise, Jazz, firstly, who's going to want to come to us? Secondly, we've got no January transfer window for the manager that is going to come with us to try and get anyone that he wants or to help shake up this team. He's got to work with what we've got. And like I said earlier, on paper doesn't win you games. So who's going to want to come to us? Is David Sullivan going to splash out the cash to get a decent coach or a manager or whatever.
They ain't got no one lined up, mate. They got no one lined up. They haven't got a
That's what
clue.
I'm saying.
No.
So even if you do get rid of Moyes, there's absolutely no one out there that's fucking good enough to turn this team around, this squad around, and get them playing. But on the flip side of that, if someone does come in with fresh ideas, are that squad going to want to play? And then we've all seen what happens when a club changes manager. Everyone just fucking sharpens up. Like Dice just coming into Everton. His first couple of days, he was getting them doing bleep tests, fitness, running. He didn't have no ball work with them. It was just all about running, fitness, positioning, running, when to go, when to stay. And that's what we need to do. We need to go back to basics because this shit isn't working. It's disgusting. So,
I'm in trouble, chaps.
manager-wise,
A Twitter account, Tottenham's biggest one, with their biggest podcast with 75,000 followers, have just tweeted my tweet that our saving grace is that Tottenham team is awful. If you can't beat these, give up. We'll nick this 1-0. And I think I've had about, 20 comments from Tottenham fans in the last 7 seconds. I'm about to get absolutely battered here.
Oh, well, just put, I'm sorry, you won the Audi Cup. You've got it all covered.
well done, you've won your cup final.
Yeah.
But I got a stick. I went on their channel. They thought I'm Prince Nassim, the bastards.
Talk like a champion. Talk like a champion.
Oh, you fucking well. I used to hate him, mate.
Yeah,
Say
he's in
anything
the
else.
house.
Cheeky for serves me right going on their fucking channel anyway. But anyway,
Who
there we
was
go.
it? We are Tottenham TV.
No, it's the biggest. I think it's Chris, West Ham Tottenham fan, Chris something. I forgot his surname. I forgot his name. It might be the one Frankie's dealing with. I'm not sure. Tottenham fan, Chris, I think.
This has gone a light, mate. I'm getting absolutely torn a new one here. I'm getting battered. I have to turn that off.
I would go.
delete
Yeah. I'd go missing for a couple of days and come back Wednesday, I think. Yeah, bloody hell.
But no, you know
Terrible.
what? I'm all for it, mate. I'm all for it. It's all good banter, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Point is,
Okay,
though,
wait.
I still stand by what I said. I still stand by the fact I don't think they were that good.
No, they were
I don't think their
terrible.
lineup was good, and I
They're
don't think they
awful.
played very well. I thought they
No,
were terrible.
no.
We were just even worse.
No,
Yep,
the thing
yep.
is, they've got Kane, yeah, but they had Richarlison and Kulusevski next to him, who have done not really anything. Well, Richarlison hasn't scored this season. He was worth 60 million.
Well, he hasn't started
He's been
since last year, November.
Yeah, he's been terrible, and Kulusevski hasn't done much. So realistically, it was just Kane, and Son came on and scored, and he's been awful this season. And to let him score it just shows everything we're about right now.
Well,
Yeah.
It goes back to the gift that they keep on giving. If you're a team or you're a player that's been out of form, you need a goal, roll on
Play
West Ham.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were like that. Fucking
I was going to put
3-4
20
years
quid
ago.
on Richarlison to score. First goal against West Ham, knew that would happen. Well, I thought it would happen.
Well, I knew Son would score.
Oh, yeah.
I thought
He
Son
loved
would
The thing
do
is,
something.
in the second half, what gets me here is how the fuck are we giving them? Oh, there's respect, and then there's outright just absolutely sitting off of them. Like we say, we've got 8 defensive-minded players on the pitch, and you're sitting off them on the edge of the box. There's only going to be a matter of time until they start fucking punishing you. Yeah, we give them so much time, so much space. We're not doing the simple things. Even when we break, we can't even hold on to the fucking ball. It's just disgusting. It was a disgusting performance. That second half was non-existent. The first half was okay defensively, but going forward, all right, there was a couple of players that tried making something that looked like they were working hard to do something. But unless you're going to do it as a team, then what's the point? In the second half, I noticed you've got one player running in between 3 or 4 players trying to close them down. Unless you're going to press as a fucking unit, don't do it. Because they've just mugged that one player. I think it was Bowen that was just running in between 3 of their players, and they were just going bing, 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 bing in triangles. Not even going forward. They were just passing it around them. And you had 3 of our players sitting behind them, just standing there watching. Fucking go and help him. It's disgusting.
That's what I mean. We got a lot of numbers behind the ball, but it wasn't stopping any crosses. It wasn't stopping any shots. So everyone's waiting for everyone else to pick their marker up. Good point, Jerry. Danny Ings, mate. Listen, I can't see David Moyes playing 2 up front, mate. So what was the point of Danny Ings?
I don't think he'll play Danny Ings. I don't. Because Skamaka's back now as well, he'll start Skamaka and just keep Ings on the bench.
Yeah,
He
I think
asked
so.
for Ings. He's got to play him. He asked for the man.
Exactly, that's the thing. But apparently he's asked for all these other players, and he doesn't know how to use them.
This is true.
It's true. True. Let me just go through the comments, then we'll call it. I'm just thinking about Frankie. I don't even want to do a player rating show tomorrow, mate. I can't be asked. I can't be asked, mate.
Just do it all now. Give 8 of them a minus
Give you your
1.
morning off. Do it now, yeah.
Tommy Suchek can have a 2 for effort and try to win the ball, and everyone else gets a minus 1.
I'll tell you what. Why not? Then let's start one player each, and we go around. Fabianski, I give him.
Do you know?
I'll just give him 5. I'll give him 5 out of 10. Frankie, Fabianski.
Fabianski. He made a couple of okay saves, mate. I still worry about how quickly he comes off his line. I still think his distribution's a bit poor. I still think we could do a lot better. I still think Areola's got more about him, but it doesn't look like Areola wants to play for us anymore by all accounts. So in that case, 5, I suppose, mate. 5, 6, maybe a 6.
Yeah, because if you remember in the first half, at the end, he came out and Richarlison nearly slipped it past him, and luckily he kind of saved that, didn't he? Ginge, for me, Fabianski, he nearly got caught out a couple of times, mate. Similar, isn't he, for him? And nothing personal against him. I just think we should get someone young in, don't they, mate?
Just too slow. But the thing is, he's looking up there to play the ball, and he's got no option. But yeah, he is like 40 now. He is going to be on his Zimmer frame soon. His pace is gone. He can't run 18 yards or even 12 yards to smother his box. And the goal, he just stood there like a fucking lost soul.
Yeah.
And it's like, what are you doing? You made no effort to get down or to even attempt to try and save that. And it was closer to you than it was in the corner.
I think a
standard 5.
Yeah.
But he didn't do anything great or okay. I just thought it was routine things that he done, but he should have done better for the goal.
I think Ings is. I think he is a Sullivan signing. Could be. He likes signing strikers. Ryan, for Fabianski, mate.
I'm going to go 5 as well. Bit boring, but yeah, 5 as well. But I agree with the first goal. I think that's poor. He just hasn't even attempted to do anything at all. And the thing is, you have a younger keeper there, and you never know, they might get a leg to that. Realistically, it's not too far away from him. But
your reactions are quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Agard, 3 out of 10 for me, mate. I think he was caught out a few times and just all over the place. Frankie, Agard.
Another not so good game for him, mate. I'm not sure I'm blaming him. I kind of feel like it's the players round him that are affecting him. I think he's got to do so much covering, and a lot of players are getting pulled out of position, and he's looking like he's coming unstuck because of that reason. But he ain't looking like he was a couple of weeks ago. He's had 2 really offish games now. I think both the goals, our old defence was all over the shop, mate. So I'm at a 5.
Yeah, Agard for you, Ginge.
Yeah, I was going to say a 5. Similar reasons to what Frank said there. The players around him, you've got an aging Ogbonna, and then you've got Kerr around you, who's absolutely shit. Emerson's supposed to be a wing back, so he's going to be pushed up there, and in the midfield, they don't know what they're doing. They're going around in circles amongst each other. The gaps are opening up. He's getting bombarded. It was our only hope of a defender, a centre back, that would try and stop any sort of goal for it. But he can't do everything, and he can't do everything on his own. And bearing in mind, he keeps taking knocks, so he's being set back. He's been great for us, but today wasn't one of his better games. But I don't think it was all his fault. You could definitely see some sort of effort there. So I'll just go straight down the middle, 4 and 5.
What about you, Ryan? Agard. Yeah.
I'd say 4. I mean,
Same as me. Yeah,
bit sloppy on the ball as well. I mean, defensively, yeah, it's not all his fault, but he was sloppy on the ball, and that's himself that's been sloppy. So.
A funny comment from Steve that Frankie's going to laugh next week, mate. If it's 0-0, then we're going to get our LOL fans back on again.
We're getting rolled over by Forest.
Respect the point. Jesus. Oggy for me, just give him 5 out of 10. I did see some not bad things from him in the first half, but then obviously one of the goals and then I wouldn't want to be relying on Oggy. I think he's a good lad. I wouldn't want to be playing him every single bloody game, but it is what's happening in our club, isn't it, mate? So just 5 out of 10 for Oggy. Didn't want to respect him below that. Frankie?
I'm lower than that, mate. I think he was really poor aerially. I think he really struggled.
Yeah.
I think positionally, I think he's the cause for Aguerd slipping away with form and always getting caught out because he's half the pace behind the game, and his pace, he struggles so badly that he gets caught out so much and gets caught out of position. So I'm probably at a 4 for Oggy, mate, to be honest.
You, Ginge? Oggy? Ogfather?
It was at fault for the goal that I alluded to a few minutes ago. 3.
Ryan? Oggy?
2. 1 for each glove.
Actually, I tell you what, I was in the garden today before the game. It was a lovely day today. It was nice.
He was doing gardening clearly and then turned up for
30, 40 degrees. It was all right. Kara, mate, Kara.
I don't think you can give him a rating. He's in the minus.
I think -2 is being fucking generous, mate, if I'm honest.
He is awful.
He's absolutely dog shit. Like, he tried a sliding tackle to intercept a pass on the wrong side of, was it Charlton or was it Son at that point? Completely fucking missed it. Oh, mate, it was just shambolic.
I've never seen a German defender being bad, except from him. He is awful. I've never, ever seen one.
Hang on 1 minute.
I was going to say something then, but it'll probably get cancelled, so I won't shut me mouth.
Frankie, if you want to do Emerson, mate.
Hello?
If you want to do Emerson, yeah, Emerson.
Emerson. He was trying to get up the line, mate, but couldn't really make much happen. But again, I think that's because there was no players forward. I think he didn't really have anyone to it or to pick out, to be honest with you. I'm probably at just an average 6 for Emerson, I suppose, mate.
Yeah, just I didn't see our wing backs attack too much, which is the point. So he is cheeky, Moyes. It looks like a wing backs. They're bloody more or less full backs, like a flat back 5. So Emerson, 5 out of 10 for me. Ginge, Emerson.
You can see he wanted to get forward and to try and make something happen, but he couldn't because of the positioning, because of the run. Everyone ran away from everyone, like I said earlier. 5. He didn't do anything spectacular. He didn't really do much wrong defensively. There was a couple of things where he was a bit caught out of possession, but that's because we were chasing the game. 5.
Ryan, for you,
I'd
Emerson.
say a 6 as well. I'd say a 6 because I think he is good, but he has to play like more defensively than he'd probably like. So when he gets forward, he is good. He is half decent.
Actually, I'm hearing rumours. I don't know if they're true. That Leeds, they haven't installed a manager yet, are they? Have they?
No, they haven't. They haven't got a manager.
I think they're serious about Lampard. I heard. I don't know.
Jesus.
Don't know what's going on with
At least
that.
we won't get him then. Love it.
Rice. I don't know, 5 or 6 out of 10. Rice, Frankie.
5 for me. I just only, but his actual performance was probably an average 6. But I think as a captain, I expect to see more in games like that. I expect to see you lead from the front, lead by example, push us when we're down, and just react, mate. To be honest, and I don't think he did. So because of that, and because of my expectations as a captain, I can only give him a 5, mate.
True, mate. What about you, Ginge, Rice?
It's an hard one because he always wants to get on the ball. Again, he's the one that spreads the play or tries moving stuff. Yeah, he has to go sideways and backwards, but he had nothing to go for, did he? But yeah, 5.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to be a 5 for me, apart from Kera. It's going to be the minus.
I think some people are giving Souček above average. If I have a look at quick what people are doing, I think. For you, Ryan, Rice?
I'd go for a 4. He's just not a he's not a leader. He's not a leader. And for a game today, I thought he'd be proper up for it. I just don't know. Don't know with Rice.
Let's move on to Souček, Frankie, and then I'll put your Twitter up, mate.
Souček, again, was probably one of the better players, mate. I do think he made an effort. I think he was trying to get on the end of things. He still moves. He's never been the most agile man in the world, and he's never been what looks like a typical sort of athlete, if you like. But I remember him being more mobile than he is now. He almost runs in slow motion. I remember him getting up and down, and he had, I don't know, a little bit more than what he's got now. He just seems just a bit, I don't know, like he's lost a little bit of zip about him, mate. He's never been, like I say, too much of a sort of mobile player, but he just looks a little bit off the pace, and just there were times where he was trotting back to get into midfield. It was just like he was running through mud. He's just so laboured and just so... It looks like everything's hard work with him. But in saying that, I still think he had one of the better games than the other players, and I'd probably... I can't give anyone higher than a 6, because no one deserves more than a 6, but it's a 6 for me.
Okay, I'll leave Frankie's Twitter up there
What's up, man? Thanks, mate.
For a minute or so. Same for you. Ginger, what about sort of Souček, mate?
If we're going on the first 30 minutes, Souček gets a 10. But we're not. There's another 70 minutes. Obviously, the second half, like I've said quite a few times now, has been non-existent for West Ham. But yeah, Souček was our better player. He was causing problems for him at the back with the pressing. As I say, he nicked the ball off him a few times to create half chances that we never really done anything with, which is a shame. But you can see he was on it in the first 30 minutes. But yeah, I think it's the same with Frank. You can't really give anyone more than a 6 or a 7. Well, he would be the only one that would get a 6 or a 7. But
just wondering with that setup, everyone, how Moyes actually thought he was going to win the game. Because I'm not being funny. I could be wrong. Surely he's not setting up for a draw. I mean, that is really bad, isn't it?
He must be.
He's just setting up. He's just setting up not to lose.
Yeah,
we just said that in his press conference. He admitted it. He just said it. He said, we don't score goals, so what we have to do is not concede. That basically means you're setting up for a draw. That's what he's trying to do.
The thing is, I just don't get, wonder why we're not scoring goals, because both our strikers are on the bloody bench. It's just, the guy.
You know what?
is
I'll give Souček a 7.
Okay.
And that's being. It's only because I've got someone else in mind that I want to give something close to that. But I think Souček gets the higher rating.
Cool. Kafal for me. Yeah, Kafal again, I don't know, 5 out of 10, 5, 6 out of 10. Again, Frankie's just similar performances all around the pitch for me. I think it was the setup. And if I had the ball and I look up, I don't really perhaps have many options because most of the people are behind me, on the side of me. There's nothing up front that I can look for. There's no real number 10 that wants the ball. There's just nothing there. It's just, so your options are limited in that David Moyes setup. You're just running for the sake of it, I suppose. I don't know what it is. It's just... Kafal, Frankie, notice anything about him in the game?
Mate, I really agree with what you just said there, actually. Before we go into the Kufal thing and rating, I think I was annoyed before that people had stopped running. and weren't trying to get forward as much, and like Bowen and Sufal. But mate, if you keep running, you get there, and there's no one there. You must then at times think, why am I bothering? Like, if every single time you break your nuts to get forward, and then when you get there, you turn around and go, well, there's no one else here. What do I do now? In the end, you would get a bit frustrated, and you would start thinking, well, what's the point of me trying to get down the line when there's nobody going to be there when I get there? So, Sufal, for me, he's playing better as a right back. Mate, they were clever, Tottenham, today, in that they knew they had Son sitting on that bench waiting. They just let Sufal bomb up and down that line until he was a bit tired. And then they went, here you go, Sonny, go and run him into the ground now. And it didn't take long for Son to make his impact when he came on. For me, running gets you so far, doesn't it? But you've got to have a bit of something about you as well. I just feel like when you try and rely on these wing backs as your biggest attacking threat, they've got to have more about them than just running up and down the line. And I'm not sure Sufal's got it in him to create anything. I know everyone said last week he had a pre-assist, whatever that means. I don't quite know what that is.
Assist of an assist.
Yeah, what is all that about? But yeah, it's for me, he doesn't have enough impact on games from that position to try and create chances. And it's proven in the last 2 games, we've only barely got a shot on target. So if you're not having shots on target, we're not creating. We're trying to rely on Sufal to create things. He isn't creating things. For me, he gets a 5.
Yep. Downs again, 5 out of 10 for me. Jen, do you want to talk about Downs and Kufal together? See what do you think about them too?
It's a weird one. Like we said earlier on in the video. Don't understand why Downs was the further forward out of the 3. You'd rather a playmaker, someone sitting in that number 10, an actual number 10. I mean, you've got the likes of Lanzini. I know he doesn't run. I know he doesn't get him back, but he's a creative player. You've got Fornals that can do the running, and he's not the greatest at creating something, but he can help link up and create. So I don't understand, but that's not Downs' fault. I thought he ran. I thought he tried pressing. I thought he got stuck in. But don't forget, he's still young. And he's still learning the craft of the Premier League. I just don't think Moyes helped him out there today in this sort of game. I'll give Downs a 5, and I'm going to give Kufal a 6, only because I know. Frankie said it doesn't get you anywhere running up and down. He was a willing runner, should I say? His delivery is poor. But he showed effort, and I know that effort doesn't necessarily get you anywhere, but at least he was actually trying. It was like Souček, he was trying, even though he's not been great in the game. So for that analysis, I'll give Kufal a 6, a generous 6.
Yeah, Ryan, what about for you, Kufal and Downs?
Kufal, I'd probably give him a 5. It's just, I mean, he runs. I mean, that's something, I guess. I mean, no one else decides to run, so there's nothing really he can do. I mean, he can't cross though. But then I don't think anyone in our team can cross. We have Rice on set pieces, and he's awful. And Downs, to be fair to Downs, I'll give him a 6 because whenever he does play, he will play. He will give you 110%, which I like about him. He is very, very good. And obviously he supports West Ham, so that goes far as well. But I just don't know.
Yeah. Bowen, I'll give him 6 again. We had an argument last week where people said that they'd rather have Benrahma in the team than Bowen. But I again saw Bowen running around, receiving the ball. Not many things happened for him. And funny enough, I think he is the one who had the only shot on goal, I think. Yeah, he's a trier, and yeah, a little bit is they're not playing for the manager, and a little bit is that he's not motivated perhaps to do that extra bit more in terms of finishing. But there isn't much that players can look forward to under this setup. So I think Bowen's about 6. Antonio, just don't want to see him up front anymore. Really, a bit like Moyes. I don't want to see Moyes being manager anymore. I don't want to see Antonio up front anymore. It's just a waste. So Antonio's 3, 4 out of 10. Bowen's 6 out of 10 for me. Frankie, them two, Antonio, Bowen.
Antonio, 3 or a 4. Just think he's just poor. But again, I don't 100% blame him. But 3 or a 4. Bowen, just one of these off games again, weren't it? Just weren't at the races again like he can be. But again, just no one further up the pitch. I want to give him really poor scores, but I'm giving it to him. But also in the same mind, thinking, was it really their fault, mate? Because when you're so defensive like we were, it must be really, really hard to try and attack and get forward when you've got no support, no players progressively forward, no one inside you, no one in the box. It must be really, really hard for players like that. And a lot of people blaming Bowen's form and saying that he's off form and blah, blah, blah. With this sort of setup, in this sort of team, what is the man supposed to do? I think Bowen, Antonio, any one of our more forward players, I think they've got really, really tough jobs, mate. Really tough jobs, because we've just got no one up the pitch. So Antonio, for me, I'll give him a 4 because I don't think he quite deserves a 3. And I'll probably give Bowen the same, mate, a 4. Just ineffective and just not even in the game. But again, I blame Moyes for that more than I do them.
Ginge, Bowen and Antonio for you.
Oh, where do I start? I mean, I said earlier about Bowen not doing the basics, covering angles, cutting angles, and going to run on to press their centre backs when he should be worrying about being goal side of his man first and foremost. He opened up big gaps for them to play through. But then on the flip side of that, it was a willing runner who tried, but no, it's just not good enough. And Bowen has been out of form for a long while, and then he had those 2 or 3 games where it looked like he was coming back into a bit of form. Maybe because we were playing a poor side at the time, and then he's just gone back to his old ways. He's keeping hold of the ball, fucking dilly-dallying, taking one extra touch, not even passing it when he should be to the right pass, to the right player. I'll give him a 4. Antonio, isolated up top. Only so much he can hold the ball up. He's clumsy, we know that. He loses the ball. He could do better. I'm the same as Frank, give him a 4 as well.
What about you, Ryan? Bowen and Antonio.
I just think Antonio is awful. Anyways, I mean, he's not a striker. So, well, even though Moyes thinks he is, not really a striker. So, it's more like playing just one attacker when it's him and Bowen, because he's not a number 9. So, to Antonio, I'll give him a 3 or a 4, because obviously it's not his fault that he had no service. And Bowen, I'll give him a 5. I'll give him a 5 because I was going to give him a 6, but at least he done Romero. He showed what he was about. That he was still there. That there's something in him that obviously he's just not wanting to play for Moyes. But then nobody can blame him. Who would want to play for Moyes? That's the problem.
Oh, what the fuck?
Oh my god. True though.
No, not you, Paul. What are you doing? If we're going to play with 3 centre backs and we got a lot of injury issues, Frankie, would you consider Souček or Rice playing in one of those 3 centre half positions?
No, I definitely not Souček. I don't think he's got enough mobility. He don't turn fast enough. Mate, the player you'd have him in there right now was Diop, mate. Diop's flying, mate. He's doing
so
the business. Good to see. But again, everyone hated him. Mourinho told you that it was a miracle that our scouts had found him, and they deserve loads of credit because he's an absolute beast. Moyes gets his claws in him and turns him into trash like he does with every other player that he has around him. So, it just shows you that it isn't really these players are bad. It's just what David Moyes does with them is he turns them into bad players. Rice, I actually like him as a halfback. I think he would do really good playing from centre half and being in the defence. He's intelligent enough to play in the back line when you're defending, but move into the midfield when you're attacking. I think Rice would be brilliant at that role. I've always felt actually that would probably be his best role as a footballer. And I think if he went to a top team, I think that's how they'd play him. I think if he went to an elite club, I think that's where they'd see him. They certainly wouldn't see him as this box-to-box midfielder, and they definitely wouldn't see him as this goal-scoring potential talent that he wants to be, because unfortunately he hasn't got it in him to score goals. So
and he can't shoot.
He can't shoot. Exactly right. So, would you play Rice there if we had other midfielders that I felt could do a job? Then I would say yes, I would potentially play him as a halfback, but I don't think we do. So I think we have to play him in midfield. But we've definitely got a problem right now in Ogbonna, mate. I think we all knew that he was. Well, I think we all felt like he would barely play another Premier League football game, because the injury he had at his age is a tough injury to come back from. I give the man credit that he's still out there every week, but we shouldn't be relying on him, mate. We shouldn't be playing him every single week like we are. But again, we decided to let Dawson go and didn't replace him. So we've got to do it, because Moyes can't get in football matches without playing 5 at the back. And we have to play with 3 centre-halves just to not concede goals. And now we're struggling with that because, we're a bit short on that front, and we let someone go who still had a bit about him. So I don't blame us for letting him go, because he desperately wanted to go. But silly
he's gone to a relegation rival who's gone up the table since he went there.
What baffles me, right? So the club would have known that he wanted to go back, and the reasons were he wanted to go back to be closer to his family. Yeah, you can't begrudge that. So the club, it's not like he's just turned around halfway through January transfer and went, do you know what? I've got to go now. And just literally dropped a clanger on the club. The club have known this for a little while and didn't go out and fucking replace him, knowing that we've got Aguero, who's just played in the World Cup and that took a knock. You've got injury-prone Zuma, and then you've got Kero, who's absolutely fucking dog shit, and you've got an aging couple of other centre halves or another couple of defenders in Ogbonna, Cresswell that can fill in. Johnson's just not good enough. So you know that you're going to let one of your better centre backs go to a relegation rival, which is the baffling thing, and you're not going to replace him. It's just disgusting.
David Moyes' comments, like Frankie said, they're baffling, mate. He's having a go at the players. They're not up for the fight. Like I said, he's not giving them the tools to attack. And he reckons there's bits in there that you can build on, and gets hope from it.
Yeah,
wow.
Like 9 defenders.
They ain't up for the fight because he's been spouting nonsense that we're not in a relegation battle. That's why.
Yeah, exactly.
The man keeps saying there's no pressure. These ain't big games. These are not. He keeps playing it all down. That's why they're not reacting. If you start coming out and telling them exactly what the situation is, you might get a reaction from them.
Well, he's also saying things like, yeah, we struggle to score goals. And I'm like, well, you know why? Bloody hell, you got Danny Ings on the bench.
No, you've got 8 defensive players on the pitch. That's why.
Didn't he say something about Ings that there's a reason that he's not playing him or something?
He ain't ready, is he? He ain't ready. You have to sit on the bench for 4 years with Moyes before he's ready to play.
To the Premier League.
He ain't ready, is he?
10 years
and you know what? See when Ings was sitting on the bench, I don't know if any of you see this, the camera's panned to Ings sitting on the bench, and it Sky Sports sprung up a stat that he scored 6 in 9 against Spurs alone. Why are we not playing him?
Bed him in. I've
never
played the Premier League before.
Yeah, we've got to play him with the under-23s first.
Yeah.
When he's not injured. Yeah.
Right, we're gonna close the show off. One quick question to everyone. Before the next game, will David Moyes be sacked? And second question, any idea who's coming in, mate? Frankie?
Mate, he's here. We've got him until the end, the bitter end. We've just got to hope this man can find something to turn it around. He's here until that last game of the season. He will still be in that dugout, mate. So I've come to the realisation of that. I've accepted it. I'm fuming. I'm angry. I've come on here. I've got it off my chest. I feel a little bit better now. I'm not as angry as I was. I'm glad for your platform, Jazz, to allow us to do that, because I was a very, very unstable man until I come onto here and got it off my chest. But no, I know he's going to be here. I know they'll give him until the end of the season. I know that he thinks he'll win the Conference League, but he'll get really a big reality check when he gets put out by some two-bob side that we get drawn next against. And that'll be it. That will be all over. And we've just got to hope that on that last game of the season, there's already enough points that we cannot get relegated. We won't be very high out of it. We'll be 1 or 2 places out of it, but we've just got to hope we've done enough. And fingers crossed, mate.
I've got a little stat here that I've just seen, rung up by Sky Sports that someone's just sent to me. Attacking ranks over the 3 full seasons that Moyes has had on his return, right? The 2 previous seasons to this season, headed goals, we were 3rd in the league. Set piece goals, we were 2nd. Goals from corners or crosses, 1st. Touches in the box per goal, we were 3rd. And assists from dead balls, we were 1st. What do you think it is this season?
I think I saw that. I think it's 20th or 17th. It's in the bottom 3, isn't it, mate? Something like that for all of them.
Yeah. So headed goals, we're 20th. Set piece goals, we're 18th. Goals from crosses, we are 20th. Touches in the box per goal, 19th. And assists from dead balls, 20th.
But people will tell you, mate, that the coaches that left this football club have got nothing to do with it. I'm telling you now, those coaches that were at this football club were the reason why those stats were so good, and it's why it's all fallen away since they left. We knew that was going to be a big downfall of ours, and it's played out exactly that way, mate.
Gents, you think Moyes will be here for the next game?
So your original question, I thought of no and no. So is Moyes going to get sacked? No. Are we going to get a new manager? No. We're going to get no one. So there's the answer. Because who do you get? If the board wanted to get rid of Moyes, they had a chance. They've had plenty of chances, and they haven't done it. They've backed him, and they're not going to get rid of him. So it's a shame because this will be the end of West Ham.
Brian, what about you, mate?
Well, I don't. We're gonna have until the end of the season, unless there's another ice age that takes the dinosaurs out again. But the only manager that he'd have no experience, but that guy who said his dream was to manage West Ham, that supports West Ham, and he's doing a really good job in the French league. Can't remember what his name. I can't remember what his name, but he manages Reims or something like that. That's the only person I think we would maybe get in if we want not someone like, we'd probably get a Benitez or a Lampard if we was to get anyone. But like an adventurous manager, that would be the only one that I can think of.
Well, you've heard about the Feyenoord manager, haven't you? The most attacking coach in Europe, isn't it?
Yeah, but they're top, aren't they? He's not going to leave the Eredivisie.
Top of the table and got to one of the European competition finals for me.
Van Nistelrooy. He's been good at PSV as well.
Okay. That manager you said, Reims, are they in the top French division, are they?
Yeah, they're 10th, and he's gone on like an 11 unbeaten streak or something like that. But he supports West Ham. His dream is to manage West Ham. And he got this thing through like Football Manager or something like that.
It's a bit weird that
that's the last fella we need anywhere near West Ham.
Yeah.
No,
you think we want him?
I'd rather have him. Better than Moyes.
No, man.
He's
he
only
ain't even got his coaching licence, is he?
Yeah.
I know. He gets fined £22,000.
He's like a Sunday League manager.
Yeah.
I'd get him, that's for sure.
Yeah, when the show started, I thought Moyes is going to get sacked, but the longer I think about it, purely because we're not really linked with anyone, there's not even anything coming out the club that we're after someone, and there's no one blatantly out there that I can think that would come quickly. It'll take time to get managers out of a club, mate, and oh God, I hope they've got a plan, that. Seriously, they've had longer time to be thinking about this, so oh mate,
it will be Lampard. We will get Lampard. If he's gone,
I said it a few months ago, didn't I?
Yeah, I know it's going to happen.
Yeah, I know 1 or 2 people I know have said that as well, mate. I'm not ruling anything out. Even someone mentioned Harry Redknapp. I ain't got a clue, mate.
Just think Steve Bruce being chucked about. Get him a kebab.
Yeah.
Oh mate. Oh God, Frankie, what shall I say? Will he be here? Will he not be here? Oh, mate.
Really?
I know Noble.
We've got Super David Moore.
He knows exactly.
Two
That'll
draws
be
in
ringing
a row.
out. That'll be ringing out against Forest, mate. That will be ringing out.
Yeah.
Big chance of support for the main man.
He'll come
And West
clap
Ham are
us.
massive. Will be coming back out and on.
Why did we start singing that against Derby as well?
Mad, mate.
That was
mad.
awful.
It's embarrassing.
It is.
It is.
I think he's going to get the sack because if a new manager comes in, Forest is a very winnable game for a new manager starting up and getting that. So we can't let that Forest game pass without
If we lose to Forest,
winning.
he will be gone.
We will lose if Moyes stays. We will lose
Yeah,
that
we'll
game.
get
Certainly
turned
not
over
win
by
it.
Brennan
Certainly
Johnson.
not
I
win it.
think we lose. I think we lose anyway, even if we change.
No, new manager, we win that. New manager, we win. We win that, I reckon. New
I think
manager.
like Forest have got more about them. They work hard for each other. They've got desire, passion. I mean, they just grinded out coming back from behind,
Against City, yeah.
getting a draw with Man City. And Man City, if they had won, would have gone back top of the league. They've just beaten Arsenal to overtake them in the league. And Man City have got all the tools to go and win that Premier League now. And Forest come back, battled from 1-0 down to get a point against last year's champions, the current champions, if you like. I think they've got too much on us.
Okay, let's see what happens in the next couple of days. But you guys have certainly helped me from doing a horror show on the player ratings. I'll get a little bit of my life back tomorrow. And then, yeah, I'll be keeping an eye on Twitter, seeing what Frankie's up to. And then we'll see what happens. Frankie might turn up on the Tottenham channel tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But
I'm
don't
getting
know.
it big
Cut
time.
out of him behind him.
It's going to be a fun evening, mate. I'm absolutely getting abused. But there you go.
I'm getting messages from someone in the family Spurs, and there's a picture of Noble, and he's got the Spurs thing on his top. I think
Yeah,
it's
I
made
saw
up.
that. Little
Yeah, is that real? You reckon?
Well,
Is that...
I don't know. I zoomed in on it. It looks very real. There's also one of Emerson giving it the big un to Rice that they all keep posting to me. Rice just looks. Look, I just sent it to you, Jazz. Does that look like a captain to you? Does that look like a man who's fighting? Does that look like a man who's up for the challenge? To me, he looks dejected. He looks like it's over, and he looks like he's already checked out, mate. To me.
Yeah, he can't wait to go.
Yeah.
He's thinking, what the fuck did I stay here for another season?
I'll tell you what, though, Ginger, it kicked off at the end, and I thought it's far too late to show passion. He should have done it during the game, and then it all kicked off. And what hurt me, Frankie, was when it kicked off. I was telling to my dad, we've got no fighters that would run to battle across the pitch. He was by himself, he got pushed by two Tottenham players. We had no one, mate. I know Agard came in at the end. No one.
But
mate.
It just shows you, Ad, we're not
Who is
together,
there?
are we?
No, we're not. We're all
Little.
individuals.
Kafal, Emerson, Ben Rama, they're
Get
not
correct.
really.
To be fair, you never know. Correa might have a hidden talent because it's definitely not football.
Listen, back in the day, Andy Carroll, Ginger Collins, and all those little big
Get a
boys
bit
would
of
have
Roy
sorted
Keane
it
as that
out.
manager. He goes fly tackle him.
I remember the Man United keeper crying when Carroll and Ginge done him on a couple of corners, didn't they? They smashed the crap out of him, and he didn't know what to do. But anyway, have a nice evening, gentlemen,
one,
and let's keep an eye and see if he's still going to be there, mate. Let's see what happens.
See you later, everyone.
So take care. See you.
David Moyes.